Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback to help you with your revisions. What you'll do is duplicate your site and then you will add all of your edits. You'll also want to make a bulleted list. So as you're going through the video, take a few notes. That's something that will be submitted later. All right, Jasmine, super clean, love it. The colors are great. Combination is really good. Might want to clear your social icons a little bit, although, yeah, a little more space around those, but very small adjustments. You do want to link up to your socials. These are, but these are not. Just the right amount of content. Great photo. You've got the catch light in the eye. Your tagline is here. It's just perfect. A little deep, but I think that's probably appropriate so far. The about me, I'm not sure this is linked, so you might want to remove that. It's good that you have this pinned, although your site's not that deep, so I'm not sure it's necessary. If it is, you want to put a background that's solid so they're not overlapping, font like that. But pinning it is a good idea, especially if there's any amount of, of scrolling. Okay, so your home page and your about are the same, which means you don't need one of these. So you could go in and remove that if it's on your about already. Okay. Yeah, let's center your copyright here, and you'll need, probably have it on your contact. Let's see. Great. Okay. That's good. You want all of those. And your contact is all linking. Okay, so you've got 3 of your page links going to your about. In your pages and menu, delete the home. In your contact, I'm actually going to ask you to delete your contact page that you have in pages and menu. And then in your pages and menu, go up to the right and you'll see add a page. Add a page and select contact and make it the simplest choice so you're not removing placeholders and things like that. It's usually the basic, which is the first option. And that way it will show up here and you'll be able to fill that in. But so far it's looking really good. It's not a difficult edit to make. Do look at your mobile. You want to change this. Sometimes you're not able to edit certain parts of text, and so you'll want to possibly add this back. You really only need one of those, and yeah, probably take that out, put your email there if you like. You may want to left align this when you get to mobile. Okay, so that issue is not going to be fixed until it's changed. Okay, something's either not there or it's loading really slowly, which means it's a very large file if you had 3 there. Okay. All right, really great job. Just a few edits. All right, well done. All right, Bill, nice, clean. A little hard to read this. It might need to go a little larger, but it's clean. I think you want to bring this down and over a little bit. Definitely rename our files so that when we are scrolling over them, we don't have the long numbers here. Okay, just the right amount of contact, but let's bring that down. A little more space here. And this probably needs to be in another area. Okay. Good job linking up. This could be a little smaller down here. A little more discreet because you've got the footer competing with that. This probably should be on your portfolio page. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's remove this template, and okay. So you only want to work with, having the same amount of vertical spacing between everything, and to move that video that you had on the front, unless you have it duplicated, then just take it off. It doesn't seem to be. We have to scroll to get into your work, and that's probably not necessary. And I'll leave this up to you. If you want to put two up, two videos on one line, that might work. See if you can edit this down, the verbiage a little, just to reduce your number of lines. And so up here, how about we take this out for sure, and you can either bring this up or remove it. Let's see, what do you have here? Gray. Okay. Yeah. The other option is to make your background black and just bring your service heading up there and bring all these up. But mainly you want to get into your videos a little sooner. Okay, and I do think we have more scrolling than we need, so probably two up, at this size would work. Okay. Yeah, this needs to go a little smaller. The footer's really commanding a bit of attention. So that's the only thing there. Make sure you want to use that number we talked about, I think. Okay. So let's see what we've got on the mobile. Okay, it's working well there. This text is a little big. That's okay. That's a little big. Okay. Yeah, just equal spacing. And if you can get them all to 4 or 5 lines, that's best, right? If they're the same number of rows of text, that will be best. It will look better. And people may be more likely to read it. This is okay here, but once you change it on your desktop, it will change here. You could put it back in. But yeah, the desktop needs to have that edit. Okay. Yeah. You can take out a paragraph. People don't like to scroll that much on the mobile. But otherwise, really great job. Well done, organized, clear message. Well done. Nice job. Okay. Javier, looks good. Easy to read. Love that. Clear logo. Good. This is... Okay. That's taken a while to load, but... Okay. They may have another color for the LinkedIn, like a black or gray would be good for you, but that's fine. And I'd probably move this down here. It's just because it's underlined. I think I would put these underneath, so I would move this up and then have this triangle upside down pyramid underneath it. Otherwise, it's awesome. There. Working. Good. Good. All good. Okay. So I don't know if that's actually on your site, but if it is, you want to remove it. I think it may be this app. Consider reflowing that so you don't have a single word by itself. Maybe left aligning. When it's centered like this, you just want to be mindful of the shape it's creating. And of course that can change. You might want to center that. I'm not sure you looked at this though. Okay, the about isn't quite landing there. Yeah. Your video, check that. Okay. Yeah. So check the mobile and see if you're having those issues. Please get back to, I'm testing out a different app, so get back with me if that's not happening for you, but I haven't had this occur so far. All right. It's looking great. Not a lot of edits, just mostly the mobile, right? Because you're linked up. Okay. All right. Terrific. Great site. Okay. This is placeholder. You want to be very careful about that as a cinematographer, because they're looking at our site and believing that everything that's on our site we created. Navigation is a little small. Okay, good. Remove this. You want your footer at the bottom always. I'm not sure this is your footer. If this is a background image, we want to get rid of it. Okay. Good job with your descriptions there. But this is definitely in the way and has to move. A footer usually just stays down there, so I'm curious how that's overlapping, but bring it all the way down. Typically it can't move up if there's content there, but yeah, check that out for sure. Remove that background. Great. Okay. So instead of saying click here, we want to make that meaningful. Search engines will look for your links, and so a keyword there is good. Also, screen readers will read through them, and so they don't want to, someone with low vision will hear click here, and they won't know if they want to click there. So what you want to put here, you know, for example, documentary, you wouldn't need it down here if you wanted to do that. It's a little obtrusive, so I'm not sure it's needed. You could take this off and just say see documentaries. I would make this font a little simpler. I wouldn't have this. I'd just make a simple button if you're going to do that. Something as simple as this down here. A little more discreet. Okay, good. Yeah, reduce the size of this. Go ahead and put your email, clickable email there. I know that looks great, but it's not yours, and so it's not really communicating your message. So I would look for something that you have done. You know, a photo like this without all of that if you have it. And that's what I would put back here. Something that it's easy to read, but is yours. Not yours. You know, some of these things you can easily take a photo of yourself. Well, yeah, you might need a second camera, but you could do it easily. And it's all right to have your area. Close this up, and yeah, I'm going to recommend you also put your email down here. This could be a little bigger. Good job linking up. So your buttons could be this all the way through. I'm not sure about the aqua, so I'm not sure that is much about you. I would look at your portfolio pieces, and I would pull colors from that, and I would make the buttons the same throughout. Okay? All right. Close that up. That is a good color for the buttons, except the rollover color, which isn't doing it there. You might want to take this out, get a little quicker into your form. Okay. Depending on how many videos you plan on putting here, I would definitely break them up with a header, not three, but if you're going to have more, I'd have them in groups of 3 with headers, and then you're probably going to want to freeze that, and you may want to move it over here so that it's always available, depending on how many videos you put there. People are used to finding it over there. Okay. All right. Let's see if this links. Okay, trying to go to your home page. And we have an X there. So double check that, and this should link to your home page. Okay. All right. Great job. Great job. It's looking good. Super profile image. Just the kind of thing you want. Do rename your file. All right. Great job. All right. Kyrie, you want to rename your site. If you see up here, it says the template name, Julia Martinez. Nice. You can make it a little bigger if you wanted to. We've got some overlapping here we want to get rid of. So take this out so we don't have any kind of logo there. And nothing here. So, let's see. This is clean, like that. Make sure that this is a Google Voice phone number and not your personal number. And I'm not sure you need that. Okay. Let's see. Good. Nice. Okay. Just some consistent vertical spacing is all. And padding, consistent padding. I'll reduce that footer a little bit. Okay, good. Okay. Let's remove this and you may want to take out a paragraph. So a bit of scrolling. You could put a little more space here and that would help, but then you're still probably a couple of lines. And okay, let's see. Good photo, by the way, profile photo. Let's reduce this. Okay, let's be a little more concise. And not the best place for a gallery, okay? When people go to your contact, they really just want your contact, and they're having to slide down through some things to just get to what they're looking for. So that you want to take care of. You can put your, email or somewhat, but just something very short. I would not put these there. You could put them on a hidden page, a separate page, and if you wanted, you could have a little button down here, discreet, that says, gallery photos or something, but I wouldn't, you're trying to sell your cinematography, so, let's not do this in this place, okay? That's not, okay, all right, so, good job though. This you have to remove. Maybe you thought that, well, something very simple and plain. Something very simple. I don't know if this is yours or not. I'm not sure that that's yours, but if it is, then I'm going to recommend that image go in this place. You want to zoom in enough to where you have no black bars, but one of your images would work, and that might be the one. All right. Probably a little less information here. Remove that comma, for example. Anywhere that you can remove and still get the message across, that's what you want. When I write your instructions, the first thing I want to do, I want it to, describe it for students when I write instructions for assignments, but then I go out and I look at every single word. And if I can take out one word here, one word there, 2 words here, it makes a big difference. Okay. All right. Great job. It's looking good. All right, Michaela. Okay. Let's make consistent separations here. This is a lot. It's a whole lot. A lot of content. So probably what you want, okay, supermarket, is a different thumbnail, and rename your screenshot. Something not so busy, and then a thumbnail there, and then maybe a little discrete button that says, where they could download this. Okay. This image could be a little sharper. And what we need to do, Michaela, is put your name up here with your logo. You can move that to the left or center it, but we need to have your name up here with what you do. Right now we just have this, so when we change pages, it's going to, we don't know exactly anymore, and we don't know what page someone's going to come to our site through. So let's put your name up here and what you do. And then we want a clear image. You've got possibly some images from here. I don't know that they would be clear enough, but they might be clearer than that, the one that you have already, okay? And those are adorable. I think you could probably get, hopefully you can get one out of that. Okay. Okay. So I'm curious about this. This isn't, you don't really need those. I would take those off. They're in your way. And You want to be, let's make this a little smaller, probably take your phone number off. Let's see. Link up to your Instagram and a LinkedIn. Let's not put student right now. You can get a free Gmail, mainly because you just don't want people targeting you in any way. And they will. They'll say they have a job for you, and they'll take advantage of your youth or inexperience. So don't tell them that you're a student. Let's see, when you're online like this. So take those off. Your name's going to be up there. You want to work on that layout there. Better to have a thumbnail that doesn't have the bars cropping. You might be able to edit that for your mobile layout. Yeah. So you're talking about a social media manager, and what you want to do now, what you can do is just like what you've done here, except you want a different front image. Let's see. You can do it like this. You could also use a mock template to put an Instagram, image or video in, but you want to focus on your marketing, your media management. All right, so that would be important. This could probably be much shorter, okay, for your mobile, but a little more of this, a little less of this, okay. That would be maybe a separate page with you can hide a page, so you can create a page and put this kind of thing on it and then make it hidden. But you want to focus on your social media management, okay? Then you'll start to look at, statistics and things like that, and you can show your clients that and remove those. All right, great start. I'm looking forward to seeing where you are next week. Brandon. Okay, good. You have your name, you have what you do. We talked about you don't need all of these. You probably don't need a refund policy right here on this website. Probably don't need terms and conditions. You will be looking at an accessibility statement, so that's going to be a place where you can put this. And you can see that this is hidden. It's not going to be here in your navigation, right? But you will have navigation so that you can get back to where you need to be. But that is useful to you. These, you don't need those. Those are templates anyway. Okay. This is interesting for you to read because it tells you what belongs there, but take those out, those links. Make sure that that is not a home number or address. And I would not put your age on there. That's not evergreen. You'd have to come in and change it all the time. And you don't want anyone giving anyone information that they might use to prejudice you, whether it's, older, younger, this, that. It's kind of personal, your age. So be mindful of that. But in web design, it's also mostly because it's one more thing that you have to update regularly. So we call that not being evergreen. Okay, and I believe we talked about you want your work to take up a little bit more of the main workspace here. Okay. Yeah. And we're going to need, well, you already have that. You have it all up here. Okay. Yeah, it's just that you might not need this page. You might be able to call this your portfolio page. Basically put them all on that. It's just a little more clicking than we need. Now, if you were to make them a little bigger, a little less, space here, make them larger with a very tiny, short, that is not tiny, a short description where they're a little bigger, and then because you do have a few images with each, then it might be okay to use this as an in-between intermediate portfolio menu, but it's really taking a lot to get where we need to be. All right. And it's really the only thing. This is really a good template in that it definitely provides the content. It just places it above the work, and it's so deep that I sometimes, wish they put it underneath or something. But this is what you're going for. All right. Let's see what we have here. Okay, clean. Make sure you link up at least to a LinkedIn. Okay, a little tight there. A little tight here. I'd probably bring this color, you could do it in Photoshop, I would extend this background up to here. Generative AI will do that for you, and that would look good rather than having this purple there. Breaking that up like that. Okay, check that. Works a little better here, and that we can see your work better. We'll bring it up a little bit. A little space there. Probably a little smaller, just a little, and maybe the answer is to have your header just a little deeper here so that you could get that space in there. It's really crunched. All right, great job. This group is really pulling out ahead, and I'm excited to see where you're going to be next week. Well done.